If you've been looking for the right time to buy, stop waiting. For the first time ever, we have 0% financing on every new 2009 Toyota car we sell. Even the Sienna van at 0%, and our entire Toyota truck line at an incredible savings during our perfect timing event. Stop waiting. You may never have this kind of buying power again on your new Toyota. You've waited, now it's time to act. At Iowa's #1 dealer for all brands, period. Toyota of Des Moines.
All right, welcome back here. Mad Dog Marty in the morning here at 621even.com. Marty and McDermott here to preview Big 12, the South in particular. And don't forget, Mouth of the Midwest this afternoon on a Polly-Eyes Pizza Wednesday. Johnny will be back with us. We look forward to it. John, when we look at the Big 12 South, we think of the Red River Shootout each and every year. This may not decide a darn thing this year. Might eliminate one team, Texas, Oklahoma, in a Big South collision course once again.
Well, that Red River Shootout is always the marquee game of the Big 12 South schedule and the Big 12 overall for the most part. And last year it did help decide one thing, and that was the two teams that were going to be in the three-team mess trying to figure out who's going to the Big 12 championship. And I think that scenario might play out again this year when I take a look at the schedules for the 6 teams of the South.
Well, it's interesting, too. Iowa State doesn't play either of these teams, so no chance for an upset roll there. Played Oklahoma very tough at home a couple of years ago. All right, here's where I want to go with you, though, John. I mean, there's other flies in the ointment here. Gundy's Oklahoma State Cowboys. I mean, very, very formidable. And you never know what Mike Leach, he's got his contract situation ironed out there in Lubbock. How about Texas Tech?
Well, I see Texas Tech taking a little bit of a slide backwards this year. Graham Harrell is not in leading that offense this year, and they're going to have a first-year starter quarterback.
There's a guy by the name of Crabtree that's not around anymore.
Crabtree's not there either, which, you know, those two guys were kind of primarily responsible for the comeback win against Texas at home last year, which put everything into such a kind of jumbled mess for the tiebreaker to decide that Oklahoma was going to be the representative. But I see Texas and Oklahoma being 2 of the 3 top teams coming back, and I think Oklahoma State jumps up a little bit with that vaunted offense coming back from last year with Zach Robinson and company. I think they're going to maybe have a chance to go 7-1 and tie Oklahoma and Texas atop the Big 12.
All right, let's jump into Texas and Oklahoma in this first segment here. How do you see the Longhorns? How do you see the Sooners? And I've got Oklahoma playing for national championship, but you say there's some holes. Let's start with Oklahoma. They got some holes in the offensive line to fill.
Well, yeah, there's two factors with Oklahoma that really concern me about whether or not they can get back to, well, if they can get to an undefeated season like some people think they will. They are ranked ahead of Texas a spot or two in most of the polls right now. But the 2 things that I see that are going to be factors and obstacles to overcome: 1 out of 5 offensive linemen return that were starters last year. Now, obviously, Oklahoma's recruiting classes and the talent that they have probably won't be an issue, especially with the great offense that they had last year, the #1 ranked offense in the country as far as scoring. But they also returned 6 defensive starters that allowed 28 points per game last year, 6 different times. So, you know, the Big 12 had a lot of good offenses last year, and there's that argument: was it bad defense or great offense? But they cannot allow teams to score 28, 35, 42 points a game against them and expect to win every game.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, 20 seconds on Texas. The great quarterback, obviously well coached. What about the Longhorns?
Well, you got Heisman runner-up Colt McCoy coming in. For his senior season, you've got Shipley coming back, a great return man, and the leading wide receiver on the team.
Great chemistry between those two.
But the one thing that concerned me last year with Texas was Colt McCoy was their leading rusher on the team last year. So I think Mac Brown would like to see a running back emerge out of that backfield and really kind of decide that he's going to be the person to carry the load. So that could be sophomore Cody Johnson, who's been a converted fullback. He had a couple 100-yard games last season. But there's 2 key games. It's the Oklahoma State game and the Red River Shootout. I see them getting by Oklahoma again in the Red River Shootout, but they've got to go to Stillwater to play Oklahoma State, and I think that's where they stumble and get tripped up.
Good stuff. It's Mad Dog in the morning, and it's the Mouth in the afternoon. More in the Big 12 South coming up here. Mad Dog Marty, 621even.com with John McDermott.